This is a live view of Tokyo right now. You can see in the distance the Tokyo sky tree. The top part of it is covered in the clouds, and I guess in some respect there's some sort of impact with Typhoon Shanshan here in Tokyo, but how you doing, everybody? It's a whole lot of nothing so far, and a lot of people in Osaka have been writing me. I've gotten hundreds of messages. I'm going to show you some of them. I know a lot of you are worried about your trip. I feel for you all. It's a tough situation because a lot of you haven't lived through the typhoon season like I have, and this is a perfect example of what to do and what not to do in this kind of a situation. As you can see, the sky, if you look up, there's blue sky over there. Like, it's bizarre. We've got wind. It's actually raining a little bit right above me. You can see the sunshine coming out. It feels warm. That sun up there is starting to come down, break through the clouds. This is certainly not the kind of day that I thought we would get on the 31st of August. We've been talking about this for quite a long time. But the point is that, you can't, as I said it like a few days ago, typhoons are like living, they're alive in the sense like they're going left and right, up and down. It's like a running back on an American football field. You don't know which direction they're gonna go. They're getting blocked, right? There's a front on the east, there's a front on the west, and it's kind of pushing the typhoon all over the place. And right now, the Shinkansen is delayed. Yesterday, I did a live stream there. You can see Tokyo and Nagoya. This was yesterday. Apparently, it's still suspended because the area between Mishima and Nagoya is really getting a lot of rain. And I'm going to show you that in a second. Yesterday, they closed the gate around the Tokaido Shinkansen. You can see that live stream from yesterday. This has disturbed a lot of travel plans. Right here, I'm going to bring this up kind of big here in the center. You can see, this is the current situation, the rain here in Japan. A lot of it is centered around just east of Osaka, and you can see it's starting to move over towards Nagoya, and Nagoya is getting slammed right now. I'll bring it down here. You can see the Gifu, the Nagoya, Mie, Aichi-ken, Toyohashi, and even Hamamatsu in a way along the Pacific coast getting slammed. Now it's moving over towards Gifu and Kanazawa right now, Ishikawa Prefecture. It's just like a mess right now, and that front is not doing much of anything. It's not coming towards Tokyo. It's sort of like spiraled around and hanging around the Tokai region, and that's what's causing the delays with the Shinkansen. That's what's causing some flights being canceled. But for the most part, the flights are going from Haneda. I'll show you what's going on. Here's Tokyo right there in the center of your screen, that circle right in the smack dab in the center. That's Tokyo. A whole lot of nothing. No rain. There's a little bit of sprinkles right now, but stuff going on around here. And this is the situation that we're in right now. So, like we expected, if you look back at it like a couple of days ago, oh, this is from, when was this? This was yesterday. This is going to be making its way along the coast and coming up towards Tokyo on the 1st and blah, blah, blah. Who knows what's happening now. What I see from the news right here, this is Yahoo News, which is still a thing. Yahoo is owned by SoftBank. Yahoo Japan is a pretty strong brand here, to the surprise of a lot of people in the United States. But you can see the meteorologist who instead of a green screen or a blue screen holds a stick. I kind of like that, pointing out that the front, it's sort of like squiggling, and it seems to be going up towards the Sea of Japan now. I don't know what's going on. I think it might go up and then push over here. It's very hard to predict. So Brandani is in the house. Dutchman goes to Japan 50 months as a traveler. Thank you very much. Ramsey's silent. I think it's time for that emergency coffee. You can see I'm getting some sunshine. Good for the vitamin D. I didn't expect that today, and I think a lot of you didn't either. Here's some questions that I got here, and I think this is really important. This comes from a viewer from yesterday's live stream. Let me here. You don't need to see my head. I have a trip plan for Tokyo for September 3rd to 8th? Should I plan on canceling this trip? Does anyone know if it's the islands only, or if it's all the way to Tokyo? Answer, don't ask this on YouTube. Nobody's really gonna know in the comment section, because nobody is a storm whisperer. We don't know how the storm is going to go. You got to talk with your airline. They're the definitive source here. And apparently this typhoon is going to be, it's just going to be rain right now. Not a lot of wind going on, just very heavy rain. I say you're fine. But again, the ultimate source, if you're asking me, and I got hundreds on Instagram, on Patreon, on Facebook, which I don't answer. Don't write me on Facebook. Even on email, I got I can't answer them all, which is why I'm doing these live streams, and this is the way to answer you the best way. Call your airline. That's the only way to know, and you'll be fine here. Here is somebody's experience here. They shared this email to me. I guess this is with konnichiwa or konnichiwa. I think konnichiwa, right? We came to visit Japan from August 21st to September 1st. We visited Kyoto, Hiroshima, and Osaka. This morning, our Shinkansen to Tokyo got canceled. I'm so sorry about that. We got lucky because we left early, so we took the Hokuriku Shinkansen, and many others were in our situation. So a lot of people out there sharing the same situation. Because of the situation, many tourists, people behave very rude towards the staff and neighbors. I feel very ashamed that these kinds of behaviors from Westerners. Just a reminder, if you come to visit a place like Japan, please be courteous and consider others. The people at the station are very helpful and happy to help if you ask and follow the rules. Finally, we got there and are in Tokyo. Thank goodness. Hopefully, we and everyone are safe, and hope to remember this as a beautiful experience in Japan. All right, typhoons always are going to happen. First of all, you know, there's this thing in the West. It's not a thing here. All right, like if you get if you get angry and complain, you're going to get something for free, or something's going to benefit you. That doesn't happen in Japan. This is Western culture, and I don't know what this victimology type of, you know, everybody's a victim. If you have that kind of a thinking, you know, you're a victim of what? The typhoon. There's no reason whatsoever to treat the JR staff, who don't even make these decisions, rudely. They're trying their very best to help you reschedule, to extend possibly your JR Rail Pass. That was another good question. If you have a JR Rail Pass that's going to be terminating today, do they extend it? I'm not really sure. If you know the answer to that, again, this is a social media and a live stream. Leave me in the live chat or in the comments below. I'd love to hear your experience with this. But there's no reason to treat the JR staff rudely. They're some of the best in the business, all right? I've worked with JR East, JR Central. JR Central's a little bit tougher, to be honest. JR Hokkaido, JR Kyushu, love them all. JR Central, JR Tokai, maybe if I had to do a ranking, maybe at the bottom, but they're still very good. Never mind that, okay? Let's leave it there. Let's leave it there. But, you know, there's no reason for you to, I'm talking more about permission for filming. There's no reason for you to be rude to the staff here. Again, like, this is out of their hands. All they're gonna try to do at the windows is try to help you with your ticket and give you options. And look, if you've watched this channel for years, typhoon season, you know it's now. You know summer's typhoon season. You know you're gonna have a situation like this. The longer you stay in Japan, you know it's going to be possible that you're going to be canceled, your flight's going to be canceled, your train's going to be canceled, and you're going to be stuck somewhere. We just roll with it here because we're used to this. You're not. So again, I was disappointed to hear this kind of stuff happening, but not surprised. In Japan, we don't complain about this because we're intelligent enough. I don't know if it's intelligent. We know that there's nothing they can do. And I think 99% of Westerners know this. There's always 1 out of 100, right? So keep it positive out there. There's not a lot that they can do. I'm just gonna look at the sky a little bit here. Knack for knowing, thank you. Thank you. JR published this. Again, I told you if you check at 5 in the morning, you'll see an update. They had one last night at 6:30, which they haven't updated. But right now, apparently the Shinkansens are still offline. I haven't been at Tokyo Station this morning, but because of Typhoon 10, it's more about the heavy rains. And there was a great amount of rain that hit in the Gifu Hashimura. And again, like I showed you what the rain situation looks like right now. You can see this right here on the right side. It's hitting pretty hard in the Tokai region. It's hitting pretty hard in the Hokuriku region right now. It's hitting pretty hard in Gifu. And that's where the Shinkansen goes through. It goes through Gifu. And the amount of rain is just too much to safely run that Shinkansen through there. If you see, just look, that's why the Shinkansen, it has nothing to do with the wind or the typhoon. The weather conditions, despite the sun burning my back right now in Tokyo, which is crazy, it's not that great in Nagoya. It's not that great in Gifu, and that's what's causing the Shinkansen line to be suspended, and that's what's ruining your travel plans here. If you can take local trains to get as close as you can. Eventually, they will open up the Shinkansen, but according to JR here, it looks like tomorrow, sorry, wrong one here. Tomorrow they're going to be starting up operations around noon, but they'll have another update pretty soon. But they're going to start operations around noon on the 1st. Actually, it was another news agency that released this information. Let me see here. Oh, for those that are wondering about the flights, you should be just fine. This is Haneda Airport's departures, and you can see like one flight was canceled here to Fukuoka, but all the other ones, this was just about 30 minutes ago, departed for Kagoshima, that's in Kyushu, it's fine. Osaka departed from Tokyo going to Osaka, that's fine. This one going to Osaka to Kanku, which may be Kansai, that's fine. So it looks like domestic flights and international flights coming into Tokyo are fine right now. We don't know what it's going to be like tomorrow, but just keep your eyes and ears on your airline and keep in touch so you can plan accordingly. If you're leaving the U.S. tomorrow, probably it's going to be fine. Again, by the time you arrive in Tokyo, I see no reason why you wouldn't be able to land. So there's again, your airline's going to be the decisive source of information with this. Let me see, I think I might have had one more piece of information. Yahoo was, no, I don't have that here. Yahoo, and this is what the sky looked like. Do I have this here? This is what the sky looked like about an hour ago on the bridge towards Monzen Nakacho. I was going to go to the Mr. Donuts there because they have some pretty awesome donuts, but they're all, that Mr. Donuts is under renovation, which is quite a disappointment. I usually use the Skytree as a way to estimate how bad the weather is. Usually if it's hidden behind the clouds, you know it's a low-hanging storm or something. But it looks like it's just fine here in Tokyo, nothing to really be worried about. Same as in Osaka and other places here. But again, according to the Yahoo Japan News, which a journalist had called JR Tokai, JR Central, and gotten the information that Shinkansen are canceled. This was information up from an hour ago, so it's pretty recent. The Shinosaka to Nagoya was running, but right now, because of the rain, it's not running right now, but they're assessing it. Apparently, the amount of rainfall that had happened was beyond the safe limits, so they had to suspend the Shinkansen. They were doing like 2 Kodama an hour, but there was limited Shinkansen from Shinosaka going towards Nagoya. Now, apparently, because of that rain that I showed you, it's suspended and the Shinkansens will be coming back after they assess that the rain is enough where they can do that. Again, Japan's always going to err on the side of safety. It's just a risk-averse country. You might not like it. Yelling at the staff is not going to help you. And again, like, I'm heartbroken to hear that there are people that are doing that. How bad is the rainfall? In those areas, again, it was like 1.5 feet of rain, 400 millimeters or more. Right now is being reported in the Gifu region. It's just kind of getting stuck in the mountains there. So you got, I can't even imagine what the river that cuts through Gifu is flowing like right now. It must be just craziness. I don't know if there's any live cameras in Gifu, but it's a beautiful little city with a castle on the top of a mountain. But all that rain's got to be running into the river, and I would not be surprised if there's some sort of flooding or landslides or something, because when you get that much rainfall and then a little earthquake happens or something, I don't know, the landslides are pretty common here in Japan, and that's we've seen a couple of them already during this typhoon. So look, a lot of people come to me and asking advice. How should I handle this? The international media and the domestic media is all telling me that this typhoon is coming in. The projections look bad. It's going to hit Tokyo. Should I cancel my trip? Stop and relax, first of all. Nothing you can do about it, okay? Second thing, keep in touch with your airline. Third thing, they're not going to make a call until about 24 hours before, because we just do not know the trajectory of the typhoon. How strong is it going to be when it hits? Is it going to weaken? Usually when it comes to Japan, it does not pick up strength because the waters are a little bit cooler here. When it hits land, it sort of messes up and dies. And the way the fronts are right now, one out in the Pacific, and then one coming in from China, and the direction in which the typhoon has to go, it just kind of got messed up, tangled up, and now it's just a mess. There's not a lot of wind, so my estimate is that everything's going to be fine here in Tokyo. We don't even know if this rainstorm's going to come to Tokyo, probably over time. It looks like it's going to go to Kanazawa and then go up, hit north of Tokyo. I don't know. I can't even predict it because the model that I'm seeing this morning was totally different than the model that we saw like 36 hours before. So your guess is as good as mine when it comes to this. Typhoons, we just live, we live with it, and we try to adapt to them. Same with all the other natural disasters here: floods, landslides, tsunamis, earthquakes. Japan is not as safe as you guys think. You know that. It's baked into your trip. And everybody who romanticizes about Japan, they forget about the natural disasters here. We get a lot more. But it's the same as Florida. You know, you got hurricanes that roll through there. That's not any more dangerous than Japan. They don't have volcanoes, but hey, you know, they haven't Mount Fuji hasn't erupted in hundreds of years, so not a lot to complain about there. If I walk a little bit further, I can see Tokyo. Oh, there's Tokyo Tower right there. Is that it? You can see Tokyo Tower on the other side. It looks like a sunny day. I got to be honest with you. I thought I'd be inside, have to do a podcast in front of my green screen, but it looks like it's going to be just fine. I got blue skies here. So there you go. There's your report. Again, this could change. I'm happy to answer your questions here, but the reality is I can't tell you to cancel. I can't tell you if you can come to Japan or not. You're going to have to contact your airline and work it out with them. It depends on when and where. It looks like my gut says that Narita is going to be fine unless there's a massive amount of rain that's over the airport. Then they cancel the flights, and it would only be for a couple of hours. I can't imagine that they're going to cancel flights right now. It just doesn't look like that. Haneda looks like it's going to be fine unless, you know, and there could be another typhoon brewing in the Philippines or near there. Again, this is the season. There's always one right behind it, and if there is something that looks like it's going to hurt your travel plans, I'll be back here. It's been a few years because during that era, those 3-4 years where you couldn't come to Japan, we forgot about typhoons, didn't we? We kind of forgot about them. Andres writes in here, it's already a tropical depression and isn't getting worse. That's not how storms work. Yeah, so, well, that's not exactly true, Andres. I've seen storms that have come. I've seen storms that have come and hit land, then they go back to the sea, they strengthen, and then they come back and hit land, just depending on where the low pressure systems are and how they can maneuver. I've seen storms weaken, go over land, come back over the Pacific, and then come back and hit Osaka and Tokyo at a stronger rate. Like, it's so unpredictable, but we have pretty good models, but I think in this time, the models weren't very accurate, so it's just very hard. We didn't see the typhoon coming and moving at the speed of a bicycle. Apparently, it's definitely not true. We've seen the, like a tropical depression is not gonna go back and form another typhoon, if that's what you mean, all right? That's not gonna happen, but I've seen typhoons come in, weaken over land, go back out to the sea, come back stronger. I've seen that so many times before. I've seen typhoons that went over Okinawa, they weakened a little bit, and then they strengthened before they hit Kagoshima. So it just depends. Everyone is a meteorologist in typhoon season. That's sort of true, because we're all trying to figure out whether or not we can plan if we can get here or not. You know, there's a lot of people that are stranded in Osaka that got to make their flights here in Tokyo, and they're wondering what to do. Your best bet, probably get a flight if you can. There's a bunch of flights. Try to get a flight from Itami to Haneda, and then you can make your flight tonight. I don't know, but yes, that's what I meant. Andres writes in here, I'm a Floridian that lived through Hurricane Andrew. Yes, Hurricane Andrew was a devastating one. There might be people who are watching that weren't even around when that one hit. I remember when that went through, where it hit like Miami and go straight across Florida. It was a massive Category 5, and a lot of people lost their lives in that, lost their livelihoods in that one. We don't get, I don't remember a typhoon that was as strong as that, because in the Pacific we usually don't get such warm water that the typhoons are the same size as the hurricanes that hit Florida. Not when they get to Japan. It probably could be, it's probably different when it gets to the Philippines or other areas. Then they can be quite strong. But by the time it gets up to Japan, the seas are a little bit cooler down. Not recently, but in the past. And the storms were never as dangerous as something like an Andrew, which is just, it was massive, that amount of power from that and that ruined the name Andrew for a generation, I think. Not many parents. That was like Dennis the Menace, you know, Andrew. You wouldn't name your kids Andrew. That's why I'm kind of against this naming of the typhoons. In Japan, nobody's calling it Shanshan. All the news calls it number 10. I love that. It's the Reiwa 6, which is the year right now we're in. Reiwa 6, number 10. Keep it simple. Give it a number. Forget about the storm. No reason to remember it, okay? Let it go. Let it go. No one named their kid Andrew in Florida after that hurricane, I'll tell you that. Well, maybe somebody did, but they probably had issues. Anyways, I think that these kinds of updates are important to you. It wasn't what I wanted to do today. Mr. Donuts is closed. Tomorrow I'm not going to be talking about the typhoon unless something completely changes, but this typhoon has changed from what I thought it would be yesterday to what I thought it would be 2 days ago, and what we thought, we just don't know. And it was a learning experience. What did we learn? You don't know until it gets close, so you can't make a prediction on your travel plans. All you can do is to give your best and to go ahead as planned. And if it does impact your travel plans, you're going to have to roll with it, because this is typhoon season. As I said, book your departure to go home a day in advance of when you have to be there, because there's a possibility that your flight will be canceled and you'll have to leave 2 days sometimes to catch another flight. At least if you have an extra day when you get home, you have a day to get over that jet lag before you get back to work. That's my advice. It could be wrong. I don't know. I'm wrong sometimes. I admit it. I'm not always right, but I have a little bit of experience, and if I have to read the leaves, I probably can read them a little bit better than, you know, somebody who just arrived here, because I've lived through a lot of it. Just like Andres, who's a Floridian, can understand hurricanes going through Florida a lot better than I can. I probably know typhoons a lot better than, you know, someone in another area, except for my college buddy Mike Bettis, who is an actual meteorologist. I should get in touch with him. It's been ages. Mike Bettis, I believe he's on the Weather Channel, and sometimes on what is it? The one on NBC, the morning one, Good Morning America, or what is it? The Today Show. Sometimes he's one of the guest meteorologists on the Today Show. We both took science classes together. We just had one science class together. I still remember it. That doesn't make me a meteorologist. It makes me able to tell the story. That's all. That's all. And being able to follow his career has been a lot of fun too. And I wonder if he watches only in Japan. I'm sure he does not. All right, everybody, have a good day. I'll be back if there's any updates. Probably not. I'll do them on Discord and on community updates. But tomorrow we'll be talking about autumn coming here. It's already started. I already see Halloween stuff. It's bizarre. All right, it's still summer, but it's not. And we're going to talk about that tomorrow, because, again, like once September 1st hits, summer's over. That's just the way it is in Japan. Doesn't matter how hot it is, summer's over. I can make the argument that summer is over right now. All right, everybody, mata ne. Stay safe.
Hi.
Hello.
You just finished?
Yeah.
Okay.